All right, good morning. It's a little early. The market has been open for about 15 minutes. BCTX is halted right now. We also have VTNR trying to perform a first red day, so we're going to be looking at that as well. I have shares reserved for VTNR just in case it does have a decent bounce to short into, but if not, I'm not going to force the issue. I'm not going to force a trade. No big deal. There's also MITO, there's BCTX. Right now BCTX is squeezing out the early shorts, so I decided to go long here. I missed my first entry right here, where I would like to have my ideal entry right here. Let me see if I can turn on trades. Okay, I turned on trade, so we'll just have to wait for it to populate, but after this break right here, that's where I was looking to go long, so we'll see what we get after the halt. I have another position to add after it breaks this high. I know I talked about being careful with adding at those highs just in case it does a liquidity grab, fills your orders, and dumps on you. So we're going to sell some here, sell some here, sell some here. Give it a second. Sell some here, sell more, sell more, sell more, sell more, sell more. I'll take a little more, and then I will leave the 50. I'll leave the 50 shares in there just in case we get another test. How high have we been pushing? It's about a 17% push. Not too bad. I'm comfortable having the 50 shares still sitting in there for right now. VTNR having a little bit of a bounce. Let's see what MITO is doing. MITO is not doing anything. So we'll just be patient with the rest of this 50 shares. If it comes back on me, I already took profit. I locked in profit. I have a cushion now, so I can afford to hold these 50 shares just to see what's going to happen. 50 shares isn't a ton of shares. I sold 90% of my shares already, but it's nice to have a little bit of skin in the game to just get a feel for what's going on still. But if we do get a new high, I'll sell another 25 right here. So I'm only in with 25 shares left, and I will sell the rest right there. So that was a trade on BCTX. Sometimes we could even get another push higher, because sometimes the short sellers that get squeezed out of their position here, sometimes it happens so quick on them, and not everybody is disciplined enough to just cut their loss and get out of the trade when they make a mistake. So sometimes they'll try to hold after it breaks their levels, and then sometimes what I've noticed is when it pulls back onto that area where it squeezed from, if it holds, sometimes it can have a second push to squeeze out the short sellers that are not trying to get out of their position. Will that happen? I don't know. But I'm not trying to predict. I'm not trying to predict anything on the chart. I just try to react to what the chart gives me.
A few moments later.
All right, now we have a couple hours until the market closes. We have AMC going berserk. We have GME went crazy for a little bit, did some type of parabolic move, and then it dumped right back down. We had BCTX, and we have a couple other stocks having some great moves today and probably following along all of this momentum that we're getting right now. But let's just go through some of those things right now. So we have AMC going crazy. I get so many messages whenever we have another stock going crazy like AMC, like we did back in January with GME, AMC, BlackBerry, Nokia, all those kind of things. And the one thing that I always tell people is, they don't really know where to get out, where to sell, because people want to hold and make the most that they can. One thing I can tell you is nobody has a crystal ball as to what is going to happen. Not the hedge funds, not the prop firms, and nobody has a crystal ball and can tell you what a stock is going to do. But one thing that you can do is always take partial profits. So let's say your thesis or whatever you might have isn't done. So you're still bullish on AMC. Let's say you're still bullish on AMC, but you're scared like, well, I don't want to give my profits back either. One thing you can always do is take partial profits. Ain't nobody ever went broke taking profits. So that's one thing you can do if you still want to stay in the trade, but you want to secure some profits. And in my opinion, I think that is a smart decision to do, because yes, let's say AMC goes to 100, wherever AMC goes, right? I don't like to predict things. I just like to react off of what is given. I'm not trading AMC, but this is just based off of a lot of the messages I've been getting, especially today again, now that these stocks are popping back up. So, and again, if we zoom out to the daily chart, the first short squeeze level was at 2036, like we talked about in the previous video. And then we're in some of the lives, if you guys ever join, we're talking about, can AMC have a move higher? And then we're saying, well, can the short squeeze level hold? Can it hold above that level? An even more massive move today, which I think caught a lot of people off guard again. These moves are so aggressive. So I feel bad for any short sellers that are getting stuck in this move, because some people are like, man, I hate short sellers. I hate short sellers. But I'm just letting you know right now, these moves don't happen without the short sellers. And in the previous video, I was stating that short sellers is the fuel to the fire. They're the fuel to these massive moves. So that's one thing. I'm just going to say, always take partial profits and assess from there. Ain't nobody ever go broke taking profit. So that's AMC. Let's pull up GME real quick. So GME, we have not moving as aggressive as AMC. Again, maybe the price stock is a lot higher. People's buying power isn't going to be as high for GME, all that kind of stuff. But I'm sure the fundamentals has changed slightly on GME as well. Make sure you do your due diligence. I know it started off as a meme stock and all that, and it still kind of is like a meme stock, but still do your due diligence. I'm pretty sure this company has actually been talking about implementing new things within the company and all that good stuff, right? It's not something I'm trading or investing in, but I just want you to understand, always do your due diligence so you know what type of stocks you're trading, so you can then make better decisions. So I'm going to leave you with that. And now let's go back to BCTX. Here, BCTX in the morning, I did take a couple trades. I showed you that in the beginning of this morning right here. That's the only trade I was taking on BCTX. And I'll try to apply the trade so you can see the entries and exits again. So you can see right there. Another reason why we like to sell into strength, right? People might see these green candles and freeze thinking, oh, this might go to 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, whatever the case might be. Always take partial profits as you go. So we had a second squeeze. So the short seller is getting in right here, squeeze right back out, huge consolidation area. And then it turns into a little bit of a fader. It hasn't faded as much as I would have thought, but after that crack of the consolidation, like we talked about, short sellers are going to be risking this high, and most longs are probably going to be risking this low. And you can see that it breaks the bottom of the consolidation, and from there it's game on. Now, you know, other traders that are watching this are going to be like, okay, now it's letting me know what I got. It's letting me know what I need to know, and they might start positioning themselves to short this stock and ride the wave down. So make sure you're putting your key levels on the chart and try to apply that psychology as to why are these key levels? Why is this an important level to risk off of? Why are longs looking at this level? Why are shorts looking at this level? Because trading isn't an exact science because of the psychology, and because not everyone is going to do the same action over and over again. So that's why it's not an exact science. But that's BCTX, ended up fading. I was talking about VTNR, how I reserved shares, and in the previous video, again, I had posted yesterday, I was talking about how I would personally just wait for a nice red day to short VTNR. You know, over the past 4 days, VTNR has been up about over 400%, which we were saying, and how I would just like to wait for the backside to size into a bounce, because there's really no rush to jump into this stock while it's up so much, and there's still enough reward on the downside after the momentum starts to shift. And you can kind of just tell by looking at the price action, how the candlesticks look and how the price action is shaping, how now right here it's kind of rolling over and it's kind of topping out, and then now we're breaking lower lows, and now we get a bounce. Like we said yesterday, I said I would like to size into a nice bounce on the first red day, which we finally got the first red day. The bounce did come a little later than I had expected. I wasn't even at the computer all day, but now I'm back at the computer and just want to show you guys kind of what I was talking about. We did get the bounce, we got the rejection, and the stock is really showing its backside now, so that's really nice. We have potential for it to come down a little more, but we sold off a decent amount today after the bounce. I had reserved shares on VTNR, didn't get to use the shares, so I had paid that hard to borrow fee. It wasn't too much, but that's just how it is sometimes. It's no big deal. Opportunities come and go all the time. I know one of the worst feelings is kind of just missing a trade you were looking for sometimes, you know, but one thing I've learned in just my time in the market so far is that opportunities come and go all the time. And like we talked about yesterday, one trade is not more important than the other. So it's not a big deal. Let's just wait for your opportunity. I know some guys in the chat were telling me how they were trading NIO and how they missed their entry, and man, the plan that they had, if they would have just executed it, would have worked out, and yada yada yada. It's always shoulda, coulda, woulda, whatever. But just understand that the opportunities will always come and go. The market's not going anywhere. No reason to try and hammer in on a trade and do all that crazy stuff. But I'm just gonna leave you with that. That's VTNR. BCTX was today as well. I know the short sellers are enjoying this now on the way down, maybe exiting their positions because half of the move did retrace. So, and again, like we talked about yesterday, if you're a short seller, that's a tip I left you with. I would always at least take some profit once the move retraces at least halfway. So that's going to be it for this video. Going to try and get this uploaded today. So I hope these videos that I'm putting out really helps you start to understand like how other traders really think and how you can really capitalize off of understanding the psychology of a trade. And if you're someone that doesn't really like understand it yet and things just kind of happen super random or whatever the case might be, that's okay. It really does just take repetition, trial and error, and time again in the market for you to see something so many times and you start to recognize things. And then again, I know some stocks might be maybe manipulated a little bit by market makers or large market participants or whatever the case might be. You can't control that. But the one thing you can control and that you are responsible for is how much you lose on a trade, because that's something you control and is in your hands. So regardless of what happens in a stock, as long as you have the risk to reward, you manage your risk, you manage the exact dollar amount you lose on the trade if it does not go your way. You know what I mean? So that's just what I want to leave you with. Again, I think the model for the whole year is really just going to be not one single trade is going to be more important than the other, because I like that, and I think that's very important to remember. I keep repeating these things as well to remind myself, I'm not just saying these things at you because, oh, I know more than you or this or that. I'm saying these things so that I can remind myself as well, and so that we can all keep progressing. And that's going to be it for this video. I hope you learned something new. Make sure to always take partial profits. You do you do what you want in your trade plan. Stick to your trade plan. But again, nobody ever went broke taking profits. So that's going to be it for this video. If you enjoyed, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you don't want to miss any future videos like this, and I'll see you guys in the next one.